Hi, this is Curious Mystics Podcast, formerly Spiritual Mamas Podcast. Together we explore the mysteries of the spiritual world, sometimes boldly,
sometimes cautiously,
but always with open hearts
and curious minds.
Let's go. Hi there.
Hello.
Welcome back to Curious Mystics Podcast.
Yay, thank you for being here with us.
Yes, definitely. As always, we love having everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So, how are we this morning?
I think I'm still feeling pretty consistent. I actually just want to keep going. I mean, it's still early, so probably by 2 o'clock I'll be ready for like a nap. But
I am always ready for a nap.
The other day we had, over the weekend, I had my niece and nephew over, and Sunday was a rainy day. So we were all just kind of like moseying about, hanging out, not really doing anything. Everybody was up and we were like watching TV or playing games or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then at one point, my son was like, I'm going to take a nap. And it was probably like 1 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And then his girlfriend was like, I'm going to take a nap. And my niece was like, I'm going to take a nap. And then I was like, I'm going to take a nap. So everybody just went to bed in the middle of the day.
That's the best. I've only had that a couple of times and I love it. 'Cause it's just like, oh.
Yep. Yep. We were all pretty like, okay, it's time. It's nap time.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I'm convinced I have a poltergeist.
Oy.
Because I keep losing things.
Oh.
And it could be me, because that's very quite possible. But because I tend to lose things. But like, things are just gone.
Yeah.
At all, like gone. Wednesday we went to like that dinner that we had that you and I had like an award dinner to go to, and I used a specific makeup product that day.
Yeah.
And I've been using it every day. That specific product. It is now gone.
Erica.
I cannot find it anywhere. And it's so random that one specific makeup product would be gone when I use it every day. There's a folder with all kind of like important papers. Gone. Don't know where it is. And it's been sitting in my room for like a year now, because that's where I put all my important papers. Gone. Like, just,
what are you gonna do?
I don't know. Like, random stuff just keeps disappearing.
Oh no, you need to call in reinforcements. You need to fortify the fort.
Something. I'm like, come on. Like, give me back my stuff.
You better let it know to give you back your stuff. That's crazy.
So I don't know. It might just be that I'm just more out of it than normal and just have no idea where I'm putting things, but
see, that's the type of thing. We talked about this before in a previous episode about like, I don't necessarily feel like I'm super scared of that stuff. I don't really think much about it or do anything with it, but you're mentioning that, and if that happened to me, I think I might be like, what the heck? Although I think I've talked about Elizabeth. Elizabeth is the resident ghost in this house. She owned this house and died in this house before we bought it. And she's friendly, and I believe that she's not here most of the time. But anyway, anytime something happens, like something falls randomly or a noise happens, anybody in the house will be like, Elizabeth, cut it out.
It's like, enough. You need to stop.
Yeah. But I don't know. I feel like I'd be nervous if that was happening to me.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I am not the most remembering. Like I'm pretty forgetful, so like I just misplace things a lot. But this has just been way out of the ordinary. Just things just being gone.
Yeah. So. Yeah, and it's different to like, especially if it's something that like has been in the same spot for so long or that you use on a regular basis. Misplacing it might be like, hey, instead of being in that spot, it's in this spot, but you find it.
Right.
But for it to just disappear.
Yeah, well, I don't know. So I'm putting it up. Everybody needs to like put their energy the important folder. I need to find that one.
Yeah.
So my makeup, it sucks,
Mm-hmm.
but I'll deal. So, all right. So today we are stepping into sacred land, red rock mysteries, and the swirling energies of Sedona and vortexes.
Oh, that's
So,
exciting.
yeah. So we're talking about vortexes and what they are.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to start, we thought it'd be fun to talk about different areas that have vortexes because there's tons all over the world.
Yeah.
And I just thought it'd be interesting to find out more about these places
Mm-hmm.
and what they are and why you should go there and, all that sort of stuff. So, what is a vortex? So, a vortex is a spot on the earth where there's concentrated energy spirals,
Mm-hmm.
and they usually either go upward or inward in like a funnel energy, and
Okay.
it's usually in a clockwise motion,
Okay.
and it's usually some sort of positive energy.
Mm.
I did find like a mention of negative energy vortexes.
When you say positive energy or negative energy, are you talking about like the the charge and the energy that's there?
Right. Yeah. Whether
Okay.
it's like going to do something good to you or do something like not as good to you. And I saw it mentioned once.
Mm-hmm.
And so like I tried to find out more information about like this negative and if there are negative energies. And I only saw it once and it was saying that like the Bermuda Triangle
Mm.
is like a negative vortex.
Oh, my entire body just got chills.
But I couldn't find much more
Mm-hmm.
about them. So we're going to just assume that there's way more positive
Okay.
vortexes than there are negative. And then like negative would be counterclockwise motion.
Okay.
So, I mean, we've all stepped into something that's
Mm-hmm.
not felt right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
possible. But so vortexes can have more masculine energy, which is active upflow energy,
Mm-hmm.
or they can have more feminine energy, which is receptive and more like inflow,
Okay.
or they can be balanced of both. So, like, you would go to these places specifically if you kind of wanted this type of energy,
Mm-hmm.
or just that this is the type of energy you would experience if you went there.
Mm-hmm.
And they're often found in places of ancient significance and very beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And many believe that they form where ley lines are, which are like the Earth's energetic grid,
Yeah.
specifically where they intersect at 90-degree angles.
Okay.
So I thought that was cool. We are
That
going to do an
is.
episode about ley lines, so I'm not going to get into that right now.
Okay.
But basically, that's kind of where they're supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
And people, when they go to these different places, often report feeling lighter and more open hearted or more deeply introspective.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you know any vortexes offhand?
Just the ones you've told me about.
Okay. Yeah, so there's so many. So one in the United States would be Sedona is like huge. Like Sedona is
Mm-hmm.
one of the biggest ones in the world, really, because they have 7 different specific energy vortexes, and then like kind of the whole of Sedona is supposed to be
Mm.
a vortex itself. And that's Sedona, Arizona. But there's also Mount Shasta, which is in upper in Northern California.
Mm-hmm.
This is a big energy vortex. Stonehenge.
Mm-hmm.
Those are kind of the ones off the top of my head that there are, but there's a lot of other ones. So,
Yeah.
but we're gonna get into some of the. I'm not gonna go through all 7 of the vortexes in Sedona because there's a lot of them, and
Yeah.
I didn't want to like bog us all down, but we're gonna go through some of them, and we'll go through some another episode. And I actually just went to Sedona in December, and it is spectacular. Like you
Mm-hmm.
have to go. It's beautiful. They have these big red rock formations, and like there are mountains there, like that. You can hike through all of them. And when as soon as we got there, it just you could feel just how peaceful and the
Mm-hmm.
great energy there. We had a great time. I did go to some of these places that we're going to mention. I don't know that I felt anything specific, but I also wasn't So there's really no easy hikes
Mm.
in Sedona. So
Okay.
a lot of these, by the time I got to the top of where we were going, I was like half dead. So, so
Okay.
that could be why I didn't.
Mm.
Um, but anyway, the first one that we're going to talk about is Cathedral Rock. And some Native American tribes consider it to be the birthplace of humankind.
Mm.
And it stands 300 feet tall. And it's and if you wanted to go there, it's the conjunction of Cathedral Rock and Oak Creek.
Okay.
And it is the most photographed red rock formation.
Mm.
And it's supposed to have feminine energy,
Mm-hmm.
and people have experienced feelings of softness, receptiveness, and compassion.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I am just thinking right now, I'm thinking about like pictures that I've seen
mm-hmm.
and how even though I haven't been there, seeing pictures can evoke a certain
Mm-hmm.
experience, a certain feeling, a certain energy.
Yep. Yeah, this next one that we're going to talk about, Airport Mesa, you see the picture, so it's like almost like a spiral in the rocks. Like you walk through like a canyon
Yeah.
and you walk through it. It's like this spiral in it. And it just like, just pictures of it just like draws you in. You're just like, oh,
Yeah.
wow, that's like amazing. So Airport Mesa is one with masculine energy,
Mm-hmm.
and it's providing self-confidence and an empowerment and connection with creation.
Mm.
And it is a half-mile down Airport Road and about a mile outside of Sedona.
Okay.
So, and there literally is like a little airport there, so you'll see little airplanes. We did not go to that one, but it's supposed to be really, really. It's an easier hike. The Airport Mesa one is.
Mm-hmm.
Bell Rock. It has both masculine and feminine energy, and is one of the most popular meditation sites. Some people consider it an upflow energy area, which helps with facing challenges and finding peace.
Okay.
I did go to this one. This one is actually really pretty. And I have a funny story about this one. So again, there's really no easy hikes. It's a lot of like scrambling rocks and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're hiking, and it's like, okay, I can get there, I can get there. And then at one point it just kind of like goes very steep and like over like a little chasm. So I can't jump the chasm, nor can I get up the little steep thing because I'm just too short, and I'm like, especially at the time, was really out of shape. So I was
Mm-hmm.
like, but my husband jumped right up and he was at the top and he's like, okay, come on. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
no. So so I end up having to like skirt the rock like a good half mile, and I don't even know where I was. And at one point, it was scrambling all over the place. And he said like at one point he's like, you just kind of disappeared, and I got really nervous. I didn't know where you were. I was
Oh my
afraid you fell.
goodness.
I was like, yeah. So I finally had to yell for him because I didn't know where I was. I was like, hello, but I did finally end up making up there.
Hey, friends, we just wanted to take a moment to remind you all that you can interact with us on social media. We can be found at Curious Mystics Podcast on all platforms.
And if you haven't already, please take a moment to like, subscribe, and share so that we can keep showing up for you guys with new weekly episodes and content. Thank you for hanging out with us so far, and stay curious.
Oh, wow.
It was a beautiful view,
Mm-hmm.
but I was very tired by the time I got up there. Actually, our first Instagram post
Yeah.
I made from there.
Okay. I
Yeah.
remember you doing that, and I didn't realize it was our first
Mm-hmm.
post, but
Yep.
I remember you talking about that experience then too, and
Yeah.
it seemed interesting.
It was beautiful, but it was a
Mm-hmm.
little hard to get up for me. So interesting facts about this. It's told that the ancestors from the Yavapai tribe
Mm-hmm.
about 6 centuries ago believed that the red rocks represented the blood and bodies of giant monsters.
Oh,
And
okay.
there's a legend that has it that there's a shaman, Skachamaka, who defeated the giants, and including this huge bird that was perched on a peak, and
Mm-hmm.
that became Bell Rock.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So I thought that was interesting. There's Boynton Canyon Kachina,
Mm-hmm.
and it has both masculine and feminine energy that is balanced, and they help enhance relationships and spiritual well-being. And Kachina means spirit father.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's also a rock there called Kachina Woman Rock. And it's found above the Boynton Canyon trailhead. So that's where you could find this woman rock.
Mm-hmm.
And it actually looks like a person. It has like a face at the top of it, like a natural like formation. And there's also a cave there that's called the Womb because it's shaped very similar to a womb.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't remember if this is the one. I forgot to look it up. But there's also a cave called the Birth Canal. I'm
Mm-hmm.
pretty sure that you if you hike from the back of it, you can hike to the back of the womb cave, and you go through the birth canal. So it's like shaped very much like a
Yeah.
birth canal, and it's kind of more narrow, and then it opens up into this womb cave.
Okay.
So
That's an experience.
yeah, there's so many of those type of like there's these caves. It's just I loved every minute of
Mm-hmm.
Sedona. And then kind of the last one we're going to talk about is Chapel of the Holy Cross.
Okay.
This is an interesting. It's a actual chapel
Mm-hmm.
that was built right in the rock face, and it's considered the strongest of Sedona's vortexes, and it enables inspiration, joy, and deep connection to spirit. It was built by Marguerite Brunswig Stoud,
Mm-hmm.
who studied under Frank Lloyd Wright.
Okay.
Do you know who?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's known for building houses and structures that blend seamlessly with nature around it.
Yep.
And one of the famous ones, like in the more eastern part of the United States, is Falling Water in Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
It was originally it was actually his house.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it was his house, and I've been there. It's actually really cool. Like it's all built kind of right into the mountain, and
Yeah.
it's really pretty. So anyway, that's what this person studied under Frank Lloyd Wright, and so she made it to kind of just seamlessly blend with the rock face. And on the front of it is this huge cross. It's just like
Mm-hmm.
the front window that looking out into like the expanse. It was supposed to be built in Budapest, Hungary,
Mm.
I guess, originally, but World War II stopped that,
Yeah.
and it was built in Sedona in 1956.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. So,
That's wild.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
So knowing that that there might be some different types of energies at these different sites, would you say that then you would choose, if you needed, you would choose a site based on that
Mm-hmm.
energy specifically? Like, I don't know if this would be accurate, but this is what I'm thinking. Like, if you're needing to do if you had a traumatic birth when you were born, doing some energy work in the birth canal or the womb might
That
be.
would be amazing. Yeah, probably. Yeah, no, that's kind of the idea is that if you know what these different vortexes have, you
Mm-hmm.
could make a pilgrimage to them
Mm-hmm.
if you wanted to, and then you could meditate there, you could do yoga, you can journal, you can just take in that energy to help you,
Yeah.
like you said, connect more with the earth or work through a spiritual challenge or anything like that.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm.
So, uh, so if you were drawn to any of those that we talked about today, what do you think? Would it be, I don't know, like the more balanced one or like the masculine and feminine energy one?
Um, I personally am probably interested in seeing all of them, but as you were speaking about them, I was having like visceral reactions,
Mm-hmm.
like those chills or whatever I get in my legs. Um, as you were talking about like the Boynton
Mm-hmm.
one. So
Yeah, with the Kachina woman rock and
yeah.
the yeah, I love that it's got the balance of the masculine and feminine, and then it actually has like the mother and father aspect to it, and then
Hmm.
like the womb and everything. So yeah, that would be a really powerful one to go to
Yeah.
for sure. Hmm.
Yeah. I thought it was interesting when you were talking about the Kachina meaning, and then you mentioned that it also has the Kachina woman rock, and that's when, excuse me, that's when my legs were like,
Yeah, yeah. There's the picture. It's like this really long, thin rock
hmm.
with like a face. Like it has like a face on it.
Yeah.
It's really cool. Um, I was like, wow, that's cool. We did not go to that one either. We didn't go to a lot of like ones specifically to the vortexes because we were just kind of, out there.
Yeah.
But I'd love to go back again to actually do some specifically to go to the vortexes and
Yeah.
experience them and do some work with them. So,
Hmm.
but there are three others that we're not going to talk about today, just because I didn't want to like get too bogged down in them. And it's more just kind of like a quick introduction to these. The idea is that we'd like to do once a month, every like the first Tuesday of every month. We're
Hmm.
going to do a new vortex.
Yeah.
So they're probably going to be quicker episodes, but just a fun, interesting, like where we could go to
Hmm.
have potentially more powerful spiritual experience.
Yeah. I think about like when I was younger, I used to, so I've been in my relationship for, I don't know, 22 years at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And when we first got together, we started to do like a yearly family vacation.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not something that I had ever done before. So originally, I was doing it just because I wanted to travel. And then it turned into we love food. And
Mm-hmm.
my boyfriend is very much a chef unofficially.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so then we started picking places based on food that we've heard
Mm-hmm.
of or food reviews or new food or something like that. And now I find that I'm transitioning away from that and I'd be much more interested in visiting places that have spiritual significance and maybe some
Mm-hmm.
vortexes and things like that. So,
Yeah, I would love to go to these vortexes and like actually do some sort of like meditative type situation and then like do an episode from there. But that's if you guys keep listening, we can do that. So keep subscribing, get everybody to do that. So then we can maybe do an episode from somewhere
yeah.
specific. So
Yeah.
yeah, there's so many throughout the world. I'll skip ones that like in, I don't know, there's like Costa Rica, there's,
Hmm.
I mean, I don't know, all over the world. So
Yeah. So I'm excited. We'll definitely dive deeper into that and maybe we can see, you know, have like a vote or something. If everybody's interested in certain ones, we can do some
yeah, definitely
work on
send them
that.
in. So you can hit us up in our DMs on curious underscore mystics underscore podcast on Instagram, or curious mystics on um, Facebook. Send us a message, comment
Mhm.
on Spotify where you think we should talk about, if we don't end up hitting it. So
Yeah,
I'd love to do that and do more
cool.
research. Or if you think there might be one in your area, then
Hmm.
we can do research on it. So,
Yeah, definitely.
or even if you've been to one and you've had an experience, I would love to read about it. So if you send a story
Yeah.
in, we could read about it. That would be amazing.
Hmm.
So, so that's all. I mean, it's a pretty quick one today, but
It's interesting.
yeah. So we'll touch more probably on the other Sedona ones next month, and then we'll see from there.
Cool.
All right. So, in closing, stay.
Curious.
Bye.
Bye.